welcome back to Rosalind's Kitchen. Actually, I think this one might get uploaded before last night's did. This is actually the second video, but last night's video does not want to seem to upload, so we're working on this. But chances are this one's going to get uploaded before that one does, so go figure. Anyway, tonight we are making shrimp scampi. And I've made shrimp scampi, but never chicken scampi. So, of course, in order to make chicken scampi, you have to have chicken. And scampi actually is with, like, spaghetti noodles. However, those of you who are loyal followers of mine know my dad doesn't like noodles like this. So, we're going to be using these. They are multicolored, so that adds a little bit of color to an otherwise kind of bland looking dish. I also have Parmesan, which I'm going to use twice. I have cream. I have a lemon, which I'm going to have to zest. Woe is me. I am some balsa wood bread, which I'm going to make some croutons with. I have butter, and I have a whole lot of garlic. So I have a feeling this is going to be a kind of garlicky meal. Now, in addition, I need to provide olive oil, salt, pepper, and I have been instructed to start the oven at 400, set a pot of water heating to boil for my pasta, and have a pan for frying my chicken. So, with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so my first thing is to take my bread, and I am to cut it into 1-inch dice. So, I'm going to start by cutting my bread in half, which is already almost in half. And we will cut like this, and then turn, line you all up again, and not quite sure if that's exactly how they want it, but close enough for technical work, I think. After all, I'm making croutons, so, how exact do you have to be with a crouton? Now, the only problem I have with croutons of any variety is sometimes the little guys are so hard you could crack a tooth on one. I'm hoping that starting with fresh bread, I'm not going to end up with that. So now I have my croutons. Now I need to put them in a bowl. And as I said last night, I have washed my hands thoroughly before I started this, because we don't want germs, especially now with, the plague running rampant around us. Alright, so I am to zest the lemon. And that means the dreaded zester. And it also means I need my glove, which I'm not quite sure where it is at this moment, which is very depressing. I'll be right back. Since I cannot find my glove, I'm going to have to go with a towel, which is not the same, but hopefully will keep me from slicing up, dicing up, and grating my fingers. Because no recipe is any good if you have blood in it, unless you're a vampire. And I'm pretty sure neither my dad nor I are the undead, no matter what anyone may think. So, I'm going to be doing this, and I'm not going to bore you with watching me do it forever and ever and ever, because zesting takes a long time. So I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, my lemon is all zested. And I have my zest, about a teaspoon, which is what I need. So now, cut my lemon in half and squish it out, juice it. Because I'm going to need about a teaspoon of lemon juice. Juiced. And there you can see my juice in there. Alright, so now on to the fun part. I get to mince some garlic. So let me get my mincer. Alright, so sometimes they've sent me extra garlic, but this time apparently they didn't, because apparently I actually need 4 garlics. So cut off the little ends. Now, as I've said before, mincing garlic is a lot easier if you cut the pieces up a little bit before you start mincing. You get a better mince that way. You can just go with a whole clove and beat the heck out of it, but it doesn't mince as fine, you know. So, cut them into fourths here. Alright, so there's my garlic in there. And as always, I have, who am I going to beat up with by mincing the garlic? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I think that who I'd like to beat up are the people who treat this coronavirus like it's a joke and sling it around like, oh, you got the coronavirus, oh, you got the coronavirus. This isn't something to joke about. This is serious. Yeah, people are acting a little stupid about it, but that doesn't make it any less serious. Nobody should be accusing anyone of it or even joking about it. That is inappropriate and uncalled for. So, the attitude that goes behind that is what I'm beating up now. Not necessarily the people, because people sometimes react to fear in weird ways, but the attitude that thinks that it's okay to joke about something like this and to accuse others of it, I don't like. So, minced. Alright, so now our next step is to pat my chicken dry. So I get my chicken and let me cut it open and put it on some paper towel. Alright, so now I am patting the chicken dry. Because there is, of course, a whole lot of extra moisture with these little suckers. And now I get some fresh paper towel here, because we don't want them sitting, or at least I don't want them sitting on a wet paper towel. Now, having handled this, I need to wash my hands, so I'll be right back. Okay, so now I need to sprinkle my chicken on both sides with 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm going to turn them over and put them on this fresh piece of paper I have here. And throw this piece away. And then put 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper on these sides too. And, of course, salt. Alright, so now the salt and pepper have been. Now I just need for my water to start boiling so I can add my pasta. So I'm going to take a break here and check on what my water is doing. Alright, so my water over here is doing well. So I'm going to give it 2 handfuls of pasta. Now that may not look like, want to escape, like a whole lot of pasta. But I can guarantee you that pasta is going to swell and become a whole lot more. So, that's the sneaky thing about pasta, is it seems like, oh, it's not any big thing. It's just a little bit. And then you cook it, and the next thing you know, it's expanded and turned into the blob that ate New York. Alright, so now I'm going to cook my pasta for about, they said 8 to 10 minutes, but I have found that 12 minutes is usually the best for pasta in this family. So I'm going to cook it for about, 12 minutes, stirring it every now and then so that my pasta doesn't stick to the bottom of my thing. And we're going to move on to the chicken. Actually, before we move on to the chicken, we're going to do the bread, which is going to I'm going to have to put some olive oil in here and toss it. Now they say a couple teaspoons, but as you know, I'm a firm believer in olive oil is a wonderful thing, and you really can't overdo it, except in some situations, but very, very rarely can you overdo it. And so I am tossing it with a little olive oil. They say put it on the pan and toss it. Like I have mentioned before, this is a good way to end up with your bread in your hair. So there we go. It's all olive oiled up. Now, spread it in a single, I need to move my chicken. Spread it in a single layer on my pan. Hang on. They did say I was supposed to spray this with Pam, but I forgot, so. Alright, so spread it in an even layer, and I am going to cook this for 8 to 10 minutes in an oven on 400. And while that's going, I'm going to start cooking the chicken. So I knew the chicken was coming soon. I just missed a step. Alright, so here is my pan. And now I have to get my I hate it when my lighter thwarts me, which at the moment it is. There we go. There. Over medium-high heat. I'm to add some olive oil. Again, they say that I should add 2 teaspoons, but I'm I'm adding a whole lot more than that because I'm a rebel. Okay, now let it heat up. Then I'm going to add the chicken to the hot pan and cook the chicken until it reaches a medium temperature of about 165, which is 5 to 7 minutes on either side. And then I will transfer them to a plate and start making the scampi in this plate. So I'll be back as soon as my pan is hot. I think that my pan is hot enough now, so we're going to lay it down and put it down, and we'll give it about 4 minutes on this side, and then we'll turn it over. About that time, my pasta should be done, and I can drain it, but I need to save a half cup of it to be used in the scampi. Well, my cubes are done, so now I just got to set them off to the side till everything else is ready, which is going to be in just a few minutes. As you can see, my little handfuls turned into fat noodles. So I just set those off to the side. My chicken will be done in about 5 minutes. And then we will move on with making the scampi part. Actually, my chicken finished sooner than I expected. I took their temperature and they are 165, except this one's about 170, so, you know. But close enough for technical work. Now, put these little guys on a plate. Set them off to the side. And now, to get going with the oven. So, it says return it to the heat. There we go. And put in my garlic. Putting my chicken over there so it doesn't get cold. Alright, so I'm to cook this until it's aromatic, which I can't smell it, but it certainly looks like it's thinking about being aromatic. So now I add my cream. My butter, half of my pasta juice, which in this case would be 1/4 of a cup. Can I do this without spilling? Yes, I can. All right, and bring it to a boil, which it certainly would like to get to right now. As you can see, it's already doing its best to boil. Alright, so once it is boiling, let me give it a moment here. Once it is boiling, I will add my pasta, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and heat it through. Okay, sounds good to me. Alright, so whoop, pasta. Now I turned down my heat just because I was feeling a little nervous about it poofing up like that. That may or may not have been a good thing. I don't know yet. So now salt. pepper. And now I'm going to have to get me a new spoon. Crud. Okay. So, stir you in, let you sit for a little bit and warm through. And now I have to take my chicken and slice it into slices. So let's move that on. Okay, just heard from my friend Lynn, oldest friend I've ever had, as in the longest time we've been friends. She just said she's so glad I'm back to cooking. So am I, actually. It's been a long time, and I am thoroughly enjoying being back to it, doing it again. So, cutting my chicken up here. Trying not to burn myself or spill my chicken anywhere where, you know, the dogs would be having a light snack. All right, chicken has been sliced. Let's go put it in the Scampi. All right, so here you go. The meat is now in the Scampi. Hope I haven't scorched my base here. All right, so now let's see. Add my Parmesan. All but a little bit of it, because we're going to have that little bit for, you know, garnish. And lemon juice, pinch of salt, and let me see, that's it for the moment. Okay, now stir this little sucker up. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? I like this colorful pasta because it adds a bit of flair to, you know, what's basically a creamy white. So now I stir in the bread. Voila! And okay. And now it should pretty much be done. Let's move over and plate it, okay? All right, so there we have it. And now I add a little bit of Parmesan. Now, of course, because we're having chicken, we are having white wine with it, because you have red wine with beef and white wine with chicken or fish. So let's find out what supper's going to taste like. I'll be back. Okay, so the word on this chicken is that it is good. I'm going to now try to upload it. Hopefully it'll upload better than the other one did. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.